Oh hey, I didn't see you there. I've just been hanging out here in Peaches, rolling with Fat Matt. But since you're here, welcome to episode 2 of the Van Build series for This Cavoo Life. Wait, hold on. Do you hear that? No, you don't. That's because today we just installed sound deadening. Look at my nose. Ooh.
Sit. Or stand.
So today I was hoping. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining. This is episode 2 of the Van Build series for This Cavoo Life. So, we're talking about sound deadening. By this point, your van, or should I say your future tiny home on wheels, should be fully gut and refresh. By gut and refresh, I mean all of any original cargo, maintenance shelves, any flooring, partitions if you had one installed, fully disassembled out of the van, a deep scrub, deep clean, and then go through, make sure that if there is any rust, that rust is removed. If there are any leaks in the walls or the ceiling, even the floors, caulked and sealed. And then one final run through of putting down a layer of primer and paint to protect against future rust. Next step, sound deadening. So if you've ever been in an empty van or cargo van, essentially it's just a big tin can. And it is loud. I've been driving this thing around for about a week now with the original rubber matting, and they had this thermaderm or something like that up along the walls, which kept it pretty quiet. But once that was removed, all gloves are off. So now we put down the sound deadening. There are 3 major brands that I found on Amazon that are relatively comparable. Noeco, Killmat, and what I purchased was Fat Matt. And they're all, like I said, relatively equal in quality. Fat Matt was a little bit more expensive. That's because I believe because it came with the roller and the cutter. I didn't see that the other 2 brands came with those. Again, it's more convenience. You could always just go to Home Depot, or if you have them on hand at home already, no difference there. I went ahead and bought the 50 square foot. I've got the 2018 ProMaster 136 wheelbase, so it's I guess you could say for the most part, the shortest of the high roof options for the Ram ProMaster. 50 square feet based on pure measurement should be enough. That's to assume that I'm going to do the walls. I guess spotty on the walls, not going to do all the walls. The full 2 wheelbases, possibly on the ceiling, and then on the floor. So I ordered the 50 square foot. So far, it worked out great. I still got some left over. I went with, so I went with Fat Matt. So when you think of cleaning the van, again, the manufacturer recommends Windex and paper towels. So really, you're just going to want to go through and do one more clean sweep wipe of wherever you think that you're going to put down the sound deadening material. Step 2 is now waiting for it to dry. So enjoy a cup of coffee. All right, so once you have your van cleaned and ready to go, here's the material. It's got about 15, I'd say 15 or 20 square feet left. I've used a fair amount already. I did 100% of the wheelbases, or the two wheelbases, and then I did major pieces of the walls where I'm not going to have a window, and then the remainder of this is going to be used for the floor and the ceiling. I'm waiting to do the ceiling for now until I get the air vent and the solar panels. So the manufacturer recommends that you cut in 5 or 6 inch pieces. All right, so like I said, I'm going to be cutting the sound deadening material in 5 to 6 inch strips. I'm just going to honestly take a gander at it. I could probably get a ruler. I don't even know where one is. You should see the garage. So for shits and giggles, here's a ruler. So we're gonna cut it in 5-inch strip. There we go. Might have sat in the garage for too long. Well, we'll see. Maybe we don't need a heat gun or a hairdryer. So they also recommend that if when you put the adhesive down, if it's not sticking well to the metal, after you roll it, to get a heat gun or to get a hairdryer also, that works, to try to get it to, in the material, it can be pretty rigid and stiff, and you're going to want to have it do a very flat, smooth adhesive to whichever part of the surface that you're installing. So that's why they also gave you this roller. This roller comes in handy as once you actually lay the material down, you smooth it out, you try to do as much as you can to get any of the pockets or the waves out of it, then you do a strong roll. Again, I didn't necessarily do the best job on the wheelbases. They're pretty jacked up in a lot of the corners, but I tried to do the best that I could to smooth it out.
Never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. Never stop Never stop Never stop dreaming.
All right, so we have got to take a break because this material is melting. So round 2 starts later. It is hot outside. The material is melting, so I've moved the production line indoors to the kitchen. Don't tell the roommate. Shh. Got a cutting board to protect the granite. But I'm gonna cut the next, 5 or 6 pieces of material that I need, and then head back out there and get the second wheel well going.
Never stop, 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 never stop.
All right, so now that I've got the 2 wheel wells done, I'm going to start on the larger pieces of the van. So those are kind of the midsection where the windows would go. I'm looking at having one large window pane towards the front behind the driver's seat installed, and then a kind of the half-size slider window in the back installed, and then these two back cargo doors are going to have windows. So I'm going to leave those blank or empty for the sound deadening, but I'm going to tackle the rest of the larger window pane areas.
Taking it to the top.
All right, so for the time being, I am done with installing the sound deadening in the cargo part of the van. I am going to hold off on the ceiling for the time being until I get the solar panels and the fan installed, and then whatever I have remaining, I'll patchwork around there. And I've got the cargo door to do, but I've got enough material. I want to say I probably have about close to a quarter left of the sound deadening material, so that should totally be enough to get me through the remainder of the van. So for sound comparison's sake, hopefully you guys can hear this without the sound deadening, and then with. So now I've seen some people go ahead and sound deaden their entire van. You don't need to do that. There's the theory of diminishing return. So just because you put more product down doesn't mean it's going to reduce the sound. So I would recommend, though, doing 100% of your two wheel wells, and then the major pieces of what look like window cutouts, and then the smaller sections above those window cutouts and below the window cutouts. For the ceiling and the roof, I would do 5 to 6 inch slices or pieces, and then put them just sort of scattered around the top, the same for the bottom. So this was a pretty easy step in the van build, and one that probably took me, I want to say no more than, if I actually did it consecutively, about an hour and a half. It was really hot the day that I did it, so I was going in and out, and the material actually kept melting in the van. So I would have to go into the kitchen, cut up some of the pieces, then come back out here. But it shouldn't take you more than probably an hour, hour and a half. If you're doing it in pairs, it'll go by even quicker. So that's it. That's sound deadening installation. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be updating as I go through the van build process, as well as just talking about general life during a pandemic, and leaving corporate America, and probably the anxieties that I'm going to have along the way. Feel free to subscribe, button down below, and you'll see something over in the corner. I don't know which side it's on, one of these sides. Looks like a little bell. Click that, you'll get notifications every time I post, so you don't have to come back to the channels. Hope y'all are doing well, and stay tuned for the next episode.